Hello, everyone, and today is a special episode of Girl Just Quit TV. I have with me Naretha Hopson of everappropriate.com, and Naretha is just a warm and lovely individual. She helps out with young adults, children, and adults with their etiquette skills, professional skills, and it looks like even a little bit of branding. So allow me to introduce Naretha. Hey, Naretha.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. It's so great to have you with us today on Girl Just Quit TV.
Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure and honor to be here with you today, Brandy. Thank you.
Well, Naretha, tell us a little bit about what you do. I hope I didn't botch that up too much, but I know you're just out here doing wonderful things. I see you all the time with the youth and young adults, just helping them to really hone in on their professional skills. So can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Sure. And it was a perfect introduction, by the way. Yes, I'm the founder and executive director of Ever Appropriate Etiquette Institute, and we empower youth and adults by teaching dining etiquette, business etiquette, impression management, which is dress to impress, the art of networking, and personal and professional branding, and that includes social media etiquette and netiquette. So that's in a nutshell what I do.
I love it, netiquette. Now, Naretha, how did you get off into this?
You know,
was this your professional background, or how did you get off into teaching people about etiquette and networking and all of these fascinating things?
It's been a lifelong journey, if you will. Like, the journey started in high school. I attended a public high school. My younger brothers attended kind of the prestigious private schools and high schools. And our experiences and levels of exposure were just so different. And I noticed that some of the students that I went to school with had no idea that the world was so much larger than where we were. And so I kept that in mind, and then going forward, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more, into career, I was in luxury automotive sales. Actually, I was the first African-American female salesperson at the largest luxury automotive dealership in St. Louis. And so there were some skill sets that I needed to learn in order to be successful in that environment. And so kept that in mind and kept moving forward in life. And I do a lot in the community, so I serve on different boards and that kind of deal. And so during the day, I could be at a school working with young people, and then in the evening at a black tie gala. And across the board, the same thing. There was, something that was similar across the board, and there was a need for soft skills development. And so I started by volunteering with a local nonprofit organization that works with children in the under-resourced community to get internships in corporate environment. And so I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more, but yeah, that's kind of how I started. And
okay, so let's stop there. Okay. So now you were working at one of the largest luxury automotive facilities in the region, which I know where that is because I'm from St. Louis. Right. very prestigious automotive dealer. So now, how was it working there? Did you enjoy your job as a salesperson? Was that something that you were very passionate about? Were you fulfilled in that role?
I enjoyed it. I love a challenge. I love to meet new people, and I love to negotiate. And so I was able to negotiate on a daily basis, which I loved. But at some point, it was no longer serving me because I was not really serving others in the capacity that I feel that I wanted to serve and to really add value to other people's lives.
Were you kind of pulled in two separate directions? Like once you started really getting heavy into your volunteer work, did that start winning over your daytime job? Is that kind of what happened?
Actually, in between the luxury automotive was real estate. And
Okay.
I really enjoyed being an investor and working with families because I was adding value. I felt as if I was adding value to their lives. And so actually when my income from the real estate, which was my side hustle at the time, became, it kind of replaced my car sales income, then that's when I made the transition over to real estate. And so
Okay.
for a while, things were going really well, and this was all before the bubble burst in industry, right? And so a lot of people had to make some decisions after that time. And so it was one of those who moved my cheese moments for me, because I saw it coming and I didn't move my cheese fast enough. And so,
Oh,
with that said, to make a very long story short, it was tough. Like I hit rock bottom for a minute as a result of the real estate industry doing as well for a while. So that was a huge life lesson that I will take with me forever. Let me tell you. So.
but uh, but you know what? Some of it's that whole time period, especially people who were involved in real estate. I hear some of the best comeback stories from those individuals. A lot of them, it really, that whole saying, shaped by fire. I just
Yes.
feel like a lot of people who gained those skills during that time and then were put in that situation were able to rise above that. I didn't get a chance to ask you, but do you have any children?
I do. I have a 15-year-old son. I do.
Okay. And so, along with you struggling during that time, it wasn't just you. You had somebody that you were responsible for. So I'm sure that made it that much more difficult.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you see what you're made of in these situations. You absolutely see what you're made of. And actually, one of the things, like, it's a long story, but when kind of the bottom fell out of everything, like this one day, like everything changed. And I happened to be that it happened that morning, and then I was watching Oprah in the afternoon. It came on about 3 o'clock at the time, and Lisa Nichols and Dr. Beckwith and all of them were interviewing about The Secret. And so I've always been spiritual and gone to church and that whole deal. And but I saw that. I saw what they were saying, and I was like, wow, this really resonates. And I was in the process of getting to a point where I really was kind of tuning in to what it is that, my passions, and really kind of making a change in that way. And so The Secret came like at the perfect time, and I I went to the store. They had one more copy. Went to the store and got it, and watched it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And my life literally began to change. Not because I watched The Secret, but because I, implemented those strategies, and I still live like that today. And things are. It's a different life completely now.
Okay, so I can relate to you on so many levels because I have been deeply impacted by The Secret. And like you, I'm a student of Lisa Nichols. I know both of us attended her conference, and she definitely resonates with me. And I want to know, once you read into The Secret and you really tapped into that, is that the point where you kind of really started evaluating, your strengths, your talents, what it was inside of you that was really pulling for you to work on? Is that when Ever Appropriate was born?
It is Ever Appropriate was born around that time, absolutely. And at that time, it was volunteer based, and so I made business cards, and I would go and present my, even though I'd not done one class yet, I would go, when I introduce myself to people, I am an etiquette expert.
You gotta walk into it.
That's right. That's right. And so I spoke it into existence. And so I met someone at an event, and she said, "Oh, wonderful. You know what? I love etiquette. I teach etiquette, but that's not really what I do. And I work with this group of interns, and I would love if you came and if you would partner with me to teach this class, because," in her words,
Wow.
they would relate to you more, because her words were, "I'm a little old white lady, and they would relate more to you because they were younger African American kids." And I was like, okay. So I did, and we've actually she's been a wonderful advocate and mentor over the years, and we still do that thing every single year for the last 5 years now. We have gone and we teach that class, and we're partnering on some things this summer actually as well. So but it was one of those speak it into existence things, and it has not been an easy journey. It has not been a full-time affair. It's been about a year and a half since I've been full-time teaching etiquette, and it's been amazing to watch what happens when you are in your purpose, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, how things fall into place. Not that it's easy all the time, but it works. If you keep working, it works. And so it's been fantastic.
I love what you just said, because a lot of times when we talk about purpose and passion, it brings about these airy feelings, on a surface level. It's like, oh, it feels all wonderful and bubbly and warm, but it hurts. You have to go through some things
That's
to
right.
get to where you're supposed to go, and it's very challenging. So I'm so glad that you hit on that point, because sometimes it seems too mystical, and it is wonderful, and the opportunities that come into your life are just amazing. They're phenomenal, but there are definitely some challenges. So I'm so glad that you hit on that for everyone to really understand that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you said that Ever Appropriate was not full time the whole time. You were working a job, I'm sure, during the day, or your 9 to 5. Did you ever get to the point where you just felt very frustrated with balancing the two?
I did, only because between real estate and full-time Ever Appropriate, there was another a position, and my dad is so sweet, and he's always like, "Want a job? I got somebody for you." So there was an opportunity that looked like it made sense, and so I was doing that part-time in addition to Ever Appropriate, and for lack of going into the story, I was not in my passion. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, and as a result, it did not work the way that I thought that it would, because I should have been doing something else full time. I should have stepped out completely and done it. However, I will say, if there is someone, if I'm speaking to people who are considering whether to just go cold turkey and go full time into their passion versus kind of saving up a little bit and having a plan before you step out, I say have a plan. Have a plan. There is a time where you need to just go ahead and do the thing. But it's very important to have a plan, to have, if you can, have some capital to work with. That's nice too. But I definitely say have a plan. So was it difficult to balance the two? Yes, only because at that time I should have been working full time in my business and on my business, and so that's where the challenges did lie for me.
Yeah. I think that that's important that everybody hears that about having a plan, because as they say, having a plan can eliminate some of the fear that you
Yeah.
have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when you just step out cold turkey, it's like, bam, okay, I'm here. What do I do now? Like, you just got to start running.
Yeah.
And so it definitely helps to have a plan in place beforehand. And for some people that will work, and then some people it won't. Some people will find themselves just in situations where they just have to deal with it and just hit the ground running. Now, I do want to know, do you have any suggestions for someone who may have been like in your past situation where they were balancing their business on the side and working during the day, and and let's say that they're exactly like you, they're working a full-time job that is not in their passion? Do you have any one piece of advice for a lady like that?
Sure. I would say to don't lose sight of your goal. And everything you do, everything you say, make that take you one step closer to your goal. That means sometimes we get frustrated on the job when we feel that we should be somewhere else. It's really important to make sure that we don't burn bridges and do everything that we do in excellence. So at the end of the day, you never know. That job that you're in now could be your first client, or they could be a major client for you down the road. So it's important to do what you're doing in your job with excellence, but always keep the main thing, which is, make sure that you're plugging away at that business. Do something toward that business every single day. And that may mean reprioritizing time, whatever you have to do, but keep moving toward that goal and make it all work for you, basically. Just make it work.
Absolutely, that's a great point. I know sometimes, as I call them workpreneurs, some people call them parallel, I'm tongue-tied, preneurs, but sometimes it can get hard to really work on your business every day, but you have to do it. Don't get comfortable with just having that job. If you say you don't really want to be there anyway, then you need to make sure that you keep your business a priority and set some time aside every day to plug away at it. So I love that you said that. Now, Naretha, tell us a little bit more about your company and what you do.
Sure. So I am a speaker. So I speak at conferences and schools and things of that nature, and a coach. So I have coaching clients where I work one-on-one and with groups of people who are interested in taking their personal brands to the next level. And then also I conduct workshops, a lot of workshops. I work primarily in this last 6 months. I've worked with a lot of nonprofits who have programming within schools, and so I go into the schools and into community community centers and things like that, and I teach business etiquette and dining etiquette, and it's wonderful. So my clients are high school and college students, and then the young professional, and then some corporate as well. So the young professional is sometimes the emerging executive, and then sometimes that's the person who just started, in the corporate arena. And then of course the entrepreneur. That it's really important that the entrepreneur knows the language of business, because even though you're working for yourself, you're not working by yourself. And so we need to make it easy for people to buy into us and buy into our brands. And so I teach the skills that to make that happen.
Well, that is amazing. I can see why you are just living life on fire right about now, because you are doing just amazing things. All of the different components that you said, I'm just in awe. Like, wow. I'm sorry. This is a big no-no. Sorry, you guys. I
need to go.
Turn my phone off. So slap on the hand for me. Now, Naretha, how can the Girl Just Quit TV viewers reach you? How can they learn more about you?
Sure. Ever-appropriate.com. That's EVER-appropriate, APPROIATE.com. I am also on Facebook at Ever Appropriate. At Twitter, same thing, at Ever Appropriate. And, of course, you can email me at nhopson@ever-appropriate.com. And there's tons of other ways, and if you step into one of those avenues, you'll see all of the different ways to get in touch.
All right, well, you all make sure you check out Naretha at Ever Appropriate, ever-appropriate.com. She's doing some phenomenal things, and then also you may need to hit her up before you go on that next business lunch, so get you some etiquette skills.
They're watching you.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us today, Naretha, and I wish you much success and continued favor in your endeavor.
Thank you, Brandy. Likewise. It's been awesome. I appreciate you.
All right. See you soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.